Hello and welcome to episode number 33 of the Knitting Teaspoon podcast. I am Liesbeth, your host, and this is a podcast which is all about knitting, sewing, whatever crafts that I fancy. And, mostly about the recent time. Usually this is a weekly podcast, because I've been ill last week, I decided to skip an episode, and I've been ill for most of this week. Fortunately not that ill that I wasn't able to do anything crafting wise, but it has been a bit of more low-key works. However, I did visit a yarn fair today in Tilburg, in the south of the Netherlands. So there is a bit of content today, and oh my god, there is let's not call it a pile of shame, because I like yarn and I like stuff and I need craft supplies, you know. Yeah, I'm a little bit ashamed. I went a bit overboard, I guess. Well, anyway, I thought it would be nice because we hit the 50 subscriber mark this week, which I think is very exciting. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for coming back to this podcast. It really means a lot. But we hit the 50 subscriber mark, so I thought let's give a little bit of more introduction about myself this week, and then go into the regular podcast episode, and then end up with the stash enhancement that I really needed. I started off so good this morning. Oh my god. Well, so I'm Liesbeth. I'm 27 years old. I live in the Netherlands, in Eindhoven, which is a bit in the south, for those of you who don't know the Netherlands. It's in Europe. I guess most of you guys would have known this. Because I'm from the Netherlands, Dutch is my native tongue, so if I'm not fluent in English, that's because it's not my native language. I've had lessons in English since I was about 10 years old, so I guess I can express myself pretty good, but not perfect. So if at any point you feel like, oh my god, she's saying something so horribly wrong, please correct me. I guess that's the only way to learn. I have been a fan of knitting and sewing and crafting for almost as long as I can remember. I know I was very small when I started knitting, and I'm still very small. That's because I never grew very tall. Anyway, I really like crafting, and that's been the case for pretty much all of my life. I've been encouraged to do a lot of crafts by my mother, by my grandparents, mostly my grandmothers. But yeah, I really like it, and I guess I've always been that way, and since I've learned how to knit continental style, I've been going crazy. So I've been addicted for, I think, about 4 years now. So I live in Eindhoven. I live together with my boyfriend. We met each other when we both were studying mechanical engineering, so that's a bit of my career background. This year I quit my studies. I changed to physics, but then I quit, and I found a job in engineering, so a bit in between the mechanical engineering and the physics part. So that's my job. I guess that's about it. Oh, and if you hear some stirring noise in the background, like right now, I don't know if you can hear it. I will see in editing. I do have some pet gerbils, so they can make a little bit of noise. So that's the bit longer introduction than usual. But let's get right into the regular episode content. So today I am wearing my interlock sweater in the rainbow colors, because I have another one which is in 2 grey tones. But this one is made out of yarn by the Travel Knitter. in her decay yarn, and I bought it at Edinburgh Yarn Festival, not past March but the year before, because that's the only time I went to Edinburgh Yarn Festival. Yeah, that pattern I designed myself, and I wanted to write it up as a pattern, but it's really complicated with the decreases for around shoulders, because in interlock that's not as obvious as in normal knitting, where you can just do a knit two together, or make one somehow by knitting through front and back, or make one leaning, or whatever, so many increases possible. That's not really how it works in interlock. So although I really wanted to write up this pattern, I think it's going to be very messy and chaotic and hard to follow for people. And I don't want to put out a pattern that's only one size. So I'm not sure, maybe I'll ever come back to it, but for now it's just not my number one priority. Anyway, so what have I been up to the last week? Well, I've been working on my commuter socks, as I always do when I go to work. Mind you, I've been ill, so I have not gone to work every day in the past 2 weeks, but yeah, I did make some progress on my commuter sock, and the first one is finished. I actually finished it today on my way back from the fabric fair or the yarn fair that I went to today. So here it is, and it looks very small, but in fact it is for my boyfriend, because of the 2x2 ribbing that I did all over the top, it's really stretchy. So I think this should easily fit my boyfriend. So look at that, that's a bit more like what it will look like, I guess. And last time I showed it to you, I was at the sheep marker, which is from Mark That Stitch on Etsy. So yeah, I really like the sock, and I also cast on the second sock, and here it is. You know, yeah, I just got past the cast on, but it's really nothing more than that. I hope it's gonna be quite similar to the first sock, because I know that my boyfriend likes them to match somewhat. I think they will be a little bit off, but I think they will be close enough to each other that like people can tell they are a pair, and I think that's the most important thing to him. So yeah, that's it, I guess. A sock that's finally a little bit different than just a plain vanilla sock. So yeah, let's go into the next project. And the next project that I've been working on is my Sophie blanket, or Sophie's Universe blanket, and I'm still working on the mandala part of the blanket. I finished section 2. I actually finished this last weekend. I wanted to finish it before podcasting last week, but then I felt just so tired, so I felt like I couldn't podcast last week. Yeah, so I finished that one, and I didn't get to crocheting this week. So, but I think the previous round ended somewhere here with yeah, how do you describe the color? Just outside of these leafy bits, then there's one more row. I think that's the last row of section 1. Not completely sure about that, but yeah, I think it's turning out okay. Must say that in the center, the contrast between colors, I really like that, and now it's getting a bit more messy, but it's bound to get that way, I guess, because the farther you get to the outside, the more the colors will change. So for instance, this is a self-striping sock yarn, the yellow, green, and purple, and pink, and orange, and back to yellow. Here, that's the self-striping sock yarn, and yeah, it just happens to change color that much around in a full circle now. So yeah, the circles just keep using more yarn. So more crazy variations going on. But still think it's turning out okay. And I only have very few sock yarns left that I haven't used in my blanket yet. So I have used almost all the different leftovers of projects that basically, I think they're all socks. I think I haven't knit anything else than socks with the sock yarn. And all the leftovers, I only have a few colors that I hadn't used already. So soon I will have to start repeating or somehow getting more leftover sock yarns. I do have some mini skeins that I think I might put in. But then again, it also feels very special that all of the yarns that go in this project have already been used for something else. So I don't know. What would you guys do? Just put in some random minis at the end, or maybe even full skeins because the rows are gonna get larger? Or would you just keep it as a scrap project? I don't know. Let me know. So yeah, that was the crochet bit. And then there's also been some sewing. This has been a while since I've sewn it, but it has been since the last podcast episode, and it is a skirt, and it's the Delphine Skirt by Tilly and the Buttons, and I've already made I've worn this skirt earlier today, so it's a bit wrinkly. I hope you guys don't mind. I think it's not very dirty, so I think it's okay to show it. Anyway, so I made this pattern, the Delphine Skirt by Tilly and the Buttons, but I made some modifications. I've already made 3 of these skirts in the past, but I feel like I always wear this skirt, especially when I go to work. I always wear a skirt like this, but I only had one with pockets, and I didn't really like the way the pockets looked because they tend to look a little weird. They were on the side seam and they would kind of always stand open, and I don't know if that's because I did something wrong or because it's just not the perfect place to put a pocket. So instead I decided to try and make it look a little bit more like your regular jeans, and so I took a pattern for some jeans that I've made in the past and took the pattern piece for the pocket. So maybe you can see that best from the inside. I don't know if I'm showing this the right way now, but you can see kind of the shape of the pattern. It's just a pocket like, you know, jeans would have. And I decided to just put it over the pattern and try to adjust the shape of the pocket a little bit so that it would, like jeans have more straight line on the side, and this skirt has more like a sideward bent curved shape on the edge, because that's the only place where shaping happens in a skirt. And in pants you also have like the crotch, which has some shaping to, you know, fit the roundness of your body around the hips, and I think it turned out very well. So I'm really happy with this skirt, and I've been wearing it a lot. So last week I wore it to work as well, and I was really happy with the pockets, but I didn't have these belt loops on there yet. So but for my work we have this system where you constantly have for almost every door at work you have to like put out a chip and then hold it in front of a sensor, and then only then the door will unlock and you can pass through the door. And these chips, they come with the system that you can just clip them on your belt loop and then just roll them out and have the chip there. But without the belt loop, I would just have to put the entire thing in my pocket and then get the entire thing out, and it would just be a little bit annoying. So I thought maybe it's easier if I just add some belt loops. So how hard can it be? I thought, well, making belt loops is not that difficult, but you guys, this is like, I decided to put them exactly on the side seam, which may not have been the best idea ever, because you already have like a 4 double layer of fabric to go through with the needle. So you can see from the top stitching here, I was trying to make it nice and neat, and well, that didn't work out exactly as planned, so I decided to just leave it on the bottom side. I thought, well, I'm probably just gonna make it more messy instead of more pretty, so yeah, let's just leave it away. And on this side I did edit, so yeah, I'm quite happy with how that turned out. So yeah, I have a skirt with only 2 belt loops. I don't know if that's a strange number, I don't know. Anyway, but I really like it, and I wore it earlier today, so I switched into some shorts for back home. And you guys, it's really crazy weather in the Netherlands right now. It's like 20 degrees Celsius, and I will put in a down bar how much that is in Fahrenheit. I think around 70s Fahrenheit. Not really sure, because I'm a Celsius person, born and raised with Celsius, so Fahrenheit just doesn't mean that much to me. So it's crazy warm weather. It's like summer warm, and I'm wearing DK weight sweater. Bit crazy, but then again, I really like this sweater, and people could find me quite easily because I was wearing the crazy rainbow sweater, which a lot of people seem to like. So it was very nice to get all the compliments. So then I have one more project to talk to you about, and that is my Dusala cardigan. And you guys, it has grown so much this week, so this is where the majority of my knitting has gone into, and I thought it was nice and easy knitting. It turned out to be not always, but yeah, you guys, look at it, look at it. The body is finished, and I've even finished an entire sleeve. So yeah, it's coming along just great, and I love it. Of course I tried it on. I think it's a bit more snug fitting than I thought it was gonna be, but I think it's okay how snug fitting it is. The major problem that I had with this cardigan was that I did not have any buttons yet, so today I went on a search for buttons, and I think I found them. Well, I was finishing the first sleeve yesterday at my knit group, and I had switched from a larger needle to a smaller needle for the cuff, as the pattern suggests, and apparently I completely forgot to bring home the shorter needle. So for the first part, I'm using my choujuu, which I've used for the majority of the cardigan. Very nice needles. So and they have a circumference that is quite good for the upper part of the sleeve. But as you can see here, I've marked all the decreases on this sleeve so that it's easier to mimic them on the second sleeve. And after a certain number of decreases, the circumference of this needle, let's go search for the other sleeve again, becomes a little bit uncomfortable. So I wanted to use a smaller circumference needle, and I bought some from Lana Grossa. Let me fetch one here. So I'm using these type of needles. I don't know how to show this, you guys. It's difficult, but they have a shorter and a longer tip, and they are 25 centimeters circumference, or 10 inch, which I think is a bit large for socks. I think they are supposed to be sock needles, but I think they're a bit large for that. But for sleeves, that's quite a good circumference, I think. So they have the longer tip and the shorter tip, and I've been using the long tip in my right hand and my short tip in the left hand, and then just knit away on the sleeve from about halfway on the sleeve, and then at some point you have to change to a smaller needle size. This is actually the smaller needle size. This is 2mm or US 0, and I've been knitting a majority of cardigan on US 1.5 or 2.5mm needles, I think. The pattern actually calls for larger needles, but I'm a looser knitter, so I got gauged with these needles. Anyway, so yeah, only one sleeve left to go, and yeah, you can really tell that the striping is a bit different on the sleeve than on the body, and I'm pretty sure that the second sleeve is going to be very different from the first one because, well, I just have 2 cakes, and it's just however they happen to stripe up at this moment, that's what they're gonna turn out like, and there's really some crazy striping going on here, but well, I think it looks okay, so we'll see how the cardigan turns out. I hope to have it finished by next week. And I think this cardigan is the perfect transition to the yarn fair that I went to earlier this day, because yeah, I purchased buttons which are to go on this cardigan. I thought I already had some, but I only had 8 of them, and I need 10 buttons for this cardigan, so yeah, I needed to buy some new buttons. So I did, and here they are. I have 2 of these because obviously there's only 7 on one piece of paper, and I really like them together with the colors of the cardigan. So yeah, I'm really happy to have found these, and I did not bring my cardigan to the yarn fair today, but I did try and get a coin, a 2 euro cents. So I don't know if any of you guys know much about euros, because I feel like most of my viewers probably don't know euros, but that's okay. And well, I just took a coin and put it through the cardigan, and then I found some buttons with it, which I thought initially were about the right size, and then I put the coin, which I had of course in my wallet, and they were way too small, so we went looking for bigger buttons, and then a friend of who was with me today found these buttons, and yeah, they looked quite good, so, and they were also the perfect size, so I thought, yeah, these can work. And then we had to search through like in a huge stash of buttons to find a second strip of these buttons, but we found one, so yay, I now have 14 buttons for a cardigan which only needs 10, but you know, some spare buttons never do any harm. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this cardigan, and I'm pretty sure that it's gonna be finished by the end of the weekend, so yay, very excited about that. And I ran out of the first skeins of my hand spun yarn, so this cardigan is out of hand spun, around here-ish the tails, so almost finished the body, and then I had to switch to the second set of skeins, and I think you can't really tell that I switched to different skeins, because there were really sets of 2 which kind of were similar in terms of how the colors looked on the skeins, so I do think I will have pretty much left over, because this is how much I still have of the second 2 skeins, and well, they're definitely like not as full anymore as before I started knitting the second sleeve, but yeah, I think I will have a quite substantial amount left over, so maybe a hat or something, I don't know. So I guess that's all for the projects that I've been working on. So let's get into what I've been up to at the fabric fair today. First of all, I met a viewer today of this podcast, so hi Ingrid if you're watching. Yeah, it was really nice of you to come up and say hi to me. That was really appreciated. Yeah, it kind of feels like, you know, achieving a goal, like getting to know people and getting more involved with this fiber community, and I'm just so thrilled with well, getting to meet my first viewer. That's really amazing. Well, okay, I know my boyfriend also watches, but you know, the first person who I've met through this podcast. So I hope that there will be more fiber events in the future. I will probably announce them also beforehand that I will go there, but this was a kind of improv thing. I didn't really know long beforehand that I would be going, and then I was ill last week, so that was kind of unfortunate timing. But if I go to any somewhat bigger events, I will definitely let you guys know if I'm going there, because I would like to meet more viewers. So who knows, maybe in the future I will meet more of you. That would be very nice. So yeah. So I already told you about my first purchase of today. Well, it's actually my second purchase, because my first purchase was this bottle of soak, which we don't have at my local yarn shop. So we only have Eucalan, and it's not always readily available because it's apparently very difficult to get suppliers to deliver things sometimes. And yeah, I heard some stories that were not so good about Eucalan, so I decided I also wanted to try another wool wash. So now I also have soak, and I decided to go for the scentless version because, you know, I really like the scent of basically just wool, not of any chemicals and perfumes and everything. They can be nice, but sometimes they can be a little bit too much. So neutral is just more neutral, more versatile to me. And if I like it, I might also buy it with all the other scents and everything. So that was my first set of purchases. So up until now, I was being very, very good. Like, I bought soap, just handy, and buttons, which I obviously needed for my cardigan, so good work. And then I came across this stand and I started to do some serious damage in my budget. But I have a job now, so this was the first fiber event that I went to while having a job and having a paycheck, so I could afford to go a little bit more crazy. And I found these short circular needles, interchangeable kind of set by choujuu, and they're quite similar to the Lana Grossa needles that I've shown you just earlier this episode. And yeah, I'm just in love with my choujuu needles, so I saw that these existed from the owner of my local yarn shop. She recently got hold of these, and yeah, so I also wanted to have them. And now I have them. So they are 2-inch or 5 centimeter tips and 3-inch or 7.5, 8 centimeter tips. And I think they will be quite suitable for short sock knitting. So you can make with the short cable and the shortest tips, you can make like a 9-inch circular set, and you can also make them in like different combinations here. So I'm not really sure. You can, apparently it's possible to make them 9-inch, 10-inch, 11-inch or 12-inch circular. So I will have to see how that works, but to be sure that I would have a full set which is completely compatible with my mini set, I did not only buy them in the US one, but also in the well, all the, I don't know which one is which, but I have all the sizes from US 000 to US 1.5, which are my preferred knitting needle sizes. So that's in European terms, that's 1.5 to 2.5 millimeters and 0.25 millimeters in between all. So I'm really happy with that, because you guys, I knit so much with sock yarn or lightweight yarn, so I just needed these needles. So now I have them, and yeah, they were expensive. Anyway, they will last a very, very long time, so I'm thrilled with it. And these things, you guys, I don't know if you can really see them, but these pins, the keys to twist your needles together, I always seem to misplace the two that I have with the set right now, and it seems like I've got 10 extra now, so that's gonna be a great thing. So yeah, so far so good. So I was being all nice and not buying yarny and things, and then at the same stand where I found these needles, I also found this merino lace yarn by Cowgirl Blues. So I don't know where they hand dye yarn, I think, but I just fell in love with the colors. This is in my color comfort zone, and yeah, it just had to come home with me. Earlier today I was wearing a shawl. I sometimes wear a shawl, and I don't know how many shawls I have actually, but I think around 10, and there's really only 2 that I wear a lot, and I thought, let's just buy some yarn, like a merino lace weight yarn, like the shawl that I always wear, to make the same shawl again, or a very similar shawl again, because apparently that's the one that I seem to be wearing, and this one is in my color comfort zone, so I can't imagine that I wouldn't wear this one. So, you know, it seemed like a smart idea to you know, just go for things that you know you like, and then just make more similar things. So the one that I already have is out of Malabrigo lace, and it's apple green, so a light green color. Yeah, so definitely different color. I don't know if I will go for the same pattern or for something else. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, very happy with that. Yeah, and then the damage started happening. We first completed a full round on the fair to just see what was there. So we is me and some people from the knit group that I always go to on Thursday. There were quite a few of them there. I traveled together with 2 of them, which I say are my closer friends there. And we met up with some more ladies that I also like, but are not that close to me. Anyway, doesn't matter. This is not like a judgy who's most friendly or whatever. Anyway, yeah, so we just circled around first and saw what they had. So things like the soak, I just knew I wanted to have it and I wanted to try it, and that I was gonna buy it anyway, so I just bought it right away. And so I did with this one, and the choujuu needles were actually at the end of the round. So this one I also purchased, and the Cowgirl Blues lace yarn I purchased almost right away. And then I went for the second round, and I knew that there were like 3 or 4 stands where they had very interesting sock yarn collections. So yeah, so I first went back to so the atelier at Wolbase, where they had this skein, and it's hand dyed in the Netherlands, I think, or at least that's what it suggests. I think it's their own brand. At Wolbase is the Wool Beast, a Dutch company, and this is a superwash merino and nylon, 425 meters in 100 grams, and the color is sea and seashells. Well, let me get the label off. You can see why. And these tealy colors are really what drew me to the skein, but I think this bit looks lovely speckled as well. So I'm planning to make some socks for me out of this yarn. Yeah. So then there was this other stand where they had some utterly gorgeous, stunning colors, also speckled. I don't know. Apparently I'm drawn to speckles, or maybe I'm not that much into crazy variegated, but speckles are typically a little bit more subtle, I think. So maybe that's why I like them a bit more. So I first set my eyes on this yarn from Wool met Zwerger. So I don't know how you would translate that. So it's wool with dye, maybe, but I think Zwerger could also like have more energetic meaning. I'm not really sure how to translate that, so let's just keep it at the Dutch name, so it's just a brand name, you know. Yeah, and not everything has to be translated, but it's this gorgeous color, and it's called After Eight Candy, and it's again in a very gorgeous tealy color, and yeah, I was immediately drawn to it. And then I also picked up this color, and I'm not really sure, does this colorway even have a name? It says Zwerger 566, so I don't know. I don't know if this has a number or a name, or, but yeah, I thought it was so nice with the gray, and then all these pops of these lovely bright colors here. I just think it's gorgeous. And I decided, like, one of these is gonna be for me, and one of these is gonna be for a podcast prize giveaway at some point. More about that later in this episode. And then there was also this one thing that me and a friend had in our heads. So we had seen this technique on how to make swing socks. So yeah, that's for knitting socks in a quite different direction, and both of us thought it would be fun to try this method at some point. And we could pay €8 to get just the socks. So here are some small pictures of the different things you can knit from this book. I don't know, maybe there's more than 4 patterns, I don't know. Anyway, so this was in our heads, and we could pay €8 for just the book, or get it for free if we bought 5 skeins. And I thought, 5 skeins, that's a lot. But then I thought, yeah, well, maybe it's a lot, but it's Opal. Opal is just very decent sock yarn. It's not very expensive. So then I remembered, I offered for someone who is like very large feet to offer him some socks. So this is the brother-in-law of one of the other ladies at my local knit group. He has very large feet, and there used to be this lady knitting socks for him, but I don't know if she passed away or just isn't capable of knitting him socks anymore, but he is, well, in the Netherlands, size 49 feet, so very big feet. So I just googled that. Apparently it is UK 13 size feet and US size 14 feet, so they're quite sizable. So I decided to buy 2 skeins and well, just try and knit him socks, because I thought it would be nice if someone would knit him some new socks every now and then. Yeah. So I thought, yeah, why not try? I'm not sure if this is gonna happen anytime soon. I hope it will, because I think this guy deserves some new socks. Anyway, it's a random act of kindness, which I'm already kind of planning, so maybe not that random, but at least an act of kindness. And I just wanted to make some socks. So that was 2 skeins out of 5. Then I thought, I'm knitting socks for my boyfriend right now, and I think it's the last set of sock yarn that I have, especially for him. Turned out not to be true. I have one more set at home, but then again, only one more, and my boyfriend will need more socks than just one more pair. I mean, he only has like 10 pairs of socks right now, which are hand knit, so the poor fellow really needs me to do the wool wash more often. Yeah, I'd rather knit more socks than do laundry more often. Yeah. Anyway, so I picked this blue socks and these ones. So I think these are all mostly blue enough for him to like them. So yeah, I think he's gonna be happy with these socks. Yeah, what more to say about it? And then I had to pick one more, and I thought, well, one more. Since I'm already walking around in a rainbow, I might as well pick up a rainbow skein. And I actually think that I am going to give this one away as well. So, yeah, on the fair, it was also lovely to meet a lot of people. It was very nice for everyone who said hi. I met a viewer, which I talked about earlier in this podcast, which was really amazing to meet you. So thank you so much for coming up and say hi, and yeah, that really meant a lot. And then I also met some other people whom I've met in my knitting years. So people from the local knit group who hadn't been for over a year, but they recognized my sweater. So they came up and said hi, and then all the rest of the group recognized her as well. So that was very nice to see you again. And yeah, there was this friend of my, well, let's call her my mother-in-law. We're not married, but you know, that's just the easiest way to describe her to me, I think. So I met a friend of hers at the fair, and she also came up, and I was like, I know you from somewhere. And then she said, yes, because I'm, and then she said her name, and then I thought, yes, that's why I know you. And yeah, of course, yeah, we had a little chat. It was very nice. So anyway, so it was very nice to just be there and be surrounded by people who also love yarn and just go a little yarn crazy. Anyway, so from the fair, when I got home, I had this nice surprise, because I'd seen last week that I hit 49 subscribers, and I was really pleased with that. And I thought I wanted to do a giveaway when I reached 100 subscribers, but I think that might be a little bit far away. So let's just do a 50 subscriber giveaway, because you know, I'm just in a mood to give away some presents right now. I'm just really happy that some of my goals are coming through, like having some more viewers, having some more interaction going. Yeah, I really, I'm just so happy with that. It gives me so much structure in my week. I really love doing this podcast, and I get so happy about that. So yeah, I just want you guys to let me know something. Tell me what you like most about the changing seasons, because whether you're in the southern hemisphere or in the northern hemisphere, or whether you like fall or spring or whichever seasons that is coming up, just tell me a bit about what you like most about the changing seasons, and you will stand a chance of winning one of my handmade project bags. So that will be a project bag like this one, so I will have to get one of them out of my Etsy shop, but I think that's possible, and otherwise I will just have to sew one. So you will stand a chance of winning one Japanese knot bag with one skein of crazy rainbow yarn, sock yarn, and whichever one of these two, the Woolmet Zwerger yarns, you like best. So that's the After 8 one or the grey speckled yarn, which doesn't seem to have a colorway number. So one of these. The other one I will keep. So just basically help me pick which one I should knit into socks. So yeah. And all you have to do is just tell me in the comments down here what you like best about the changing seasons. And of course it doesn't have to be a change that you are experiencing now. Could be a past experience that you've really liked. Could be something that you still hope to experience. I don't know, but maybe you are in a region where there's not that much difference between seasons. I mean, that's maybe a very European perspective of having a huge change in seasons. Maybe that's not the case everywhere, but then probably there's something about some time of year that you want to talk about. So just, you know, let me know. I will draw a prize in 3 weeks, because in 2 weeks my sister is gonna stay over, and I'm not sure when I will podcast. It might be later that week. So I will give you guys some time to leave your comments and reactions, and then I will ship this out, just one of them, and not both. And yeah, you will have a chance of winning a podcast prize, and hopefully it will be at your place before Christmas or Sinterklaas or whichever holiday you celebrate. So we are not that much into giving Christmas presents, so I don't know. Anyway, my boyfriend is coming home, and I think it's time to wrap up this episode. But thank you guys so much for joining me. I really love it that you take some time out of your day and spend it with me. And I hope to see you again soon, and that this crazy infection in my nose is gone by then. But yeah, anyway, so hope to see you again next week. Bye!